Hello everyone, welcome back to Busy Gadgets. Today I will be talking about the Model 3. I bought this car on December 30, 2019. So I have this car for about 6 months now. Today I will share to you guys what I don't like about the car. It's a very nice car, but it's not perfect. There's still a lot of issues with it. So that's what I'm gonna be talking about today. What I like to talk about first is the everyday hassle I have to deal with every time I take my car out of the garage. So first, when I remove the charging cable, as you can see, I'm not able to remove the charger right away, even though I have the app running in my phone right here. So I should be able to remove the cable from here, but I'm not able to. So the workaround for this, or I don't know, workaround, I think is by design for now, is that you have to open one of the door or unlock the car from your phone, and then you'll be able to unlock the charging port and remove the charger. And the second issue that I have to deal with is that when I get inside the car, the music I'm playing from the USB is not resuming. This happens every time the car went to sleep, and then when you go back inside your car, it doesn't play from the USB right away. So what you have to do is to select the USB drive again and pick a song in order for you to play music again. So that's the second thing I have to deal with when I get in my car. And the third issue that I always have to deal with is the garage door opener. So right now it's not automatically closing the door, so I have to close it manually. And then there are times it actually works, but that's really rare. So as you can see, I've set the garage door opener to automatically open the garage when I arrive, and also it will automatically close when I leave. So that's how it should work. This thing should pop up when I put my car into reverse. And that rarely works. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back inside now. So those are the three issues that I always have to deal with every time I get my car out of the garage. First, the charging cable, that I cannot disconnect it right away. I have to open the door of the car or unlock the car from my phone. And second, the music playback from the USB drive, that will not play right away. And third, the garage door opener, it does not automatically close every time. There are rare times that it works, but most of the time it doesn't. Next issue that I found kind of annoying also is actually the firmware update. The firmware update of this car is actually one of the reasons why I bought the car, but sometimes it's actually also a bad thing. Sometimes they actually push firmware updates that's actually break some features. Like sometimes the car won't connect properly to my phone. Sometimes I cannot get inside my car. And then there are times that I can actually open a door or a trunk, but the Sentry mode goes off. And then I will be looking like a thief on my own car. Next is the HVAC of this car. For some reason I cannot figure out just to use the fan. Sometimes I just want to use the fan, because if you use the AC, it's gonna drain your battery quick. But if I want to use just the fan, so turn off auto, and then sometimes the temperature is actually kind of like just around 73, and then I figured that when you just want to use the fan, you have to crank down the climate control, or else if it's too high, then it will actually turn on the heater. On a regular car, you can actually just use the fan without messing with the climate control. And also this HVAC, the fan direction or the airflow direction, this one looks cool, but in real life it's actually kind of annoying. No matter how I set it, I still get a draft right at my face. So that's actually the worst setting. But I wanna point it away from my face, but for some reason I still get some draft on my face, and even that, nothing actually works for me. I don't like hitting air on my face because my eyes actually get irritated, so that's why I wanna point it away from my face. Next issue is the side mirrors. A lot of people actually change them with aftermarket ones because they are too narrow. But I'm not gonna change the side mirrors because it's too much hassle. I might break some stuff in there that I can't fix, or it's gonna be too expensive for me to fix. So I'm just gonna deal with it. Next issue, guys, is the body alignment and panel gaps. For some reason they're not consistent. Like this one, there's a little bit bigger gap than here, and then here too. As you can see, there's not much gap here, but when it goes here, there's a big gap here. And then the door is also sticking out too much. I think you can see in here, right? That's the rear door. And then that's actually also the same case with the front door when I just got this car. So I actually have Tesla fix this at their service center, but for some reason I was still not satisfied with it. So I went online and checked how to fix it, and then actually it's just a striker. So that door striker, you just have to adjust this. So all you need to adjust this is a Torx T45. So as you can see here, I already have this adjusted. I put a marker, so it's a masking tape, so I know where's I'm at from. So just a little bit adjustment, like 1 millimeter, actually goes a long way. If the front door is too high, then all you need to do is move the striker. So move the striker a little bit down. So first you have to have that masking tape, and then move it down like maybe 1 millimeter. Then check it again. And then if it is sticking out too much or a little bit, like this one is pretty good now. So if it's sticking out a little bit, then you have to move the striker inwards towards inside. So that's how you adjust the door alignment. But I could have done that with the rear door also, but for some reason this striker won't move. So when I loosen it up, it just doesn't move for some reason. So another issue with the door, guys, is that when you roll down the window, and then close the door, so right now I'm opening it, so close the door, it sounds so cheap. It sounds so cheap, guys. But if I roll the window up and then close the door, it sounds fine. So yeah, guys, Tesla Model 3 is not perfect. It's far from perfect. And then yeah, another issue with the door is that you can see there's a door seal here. This is actually the one I added. This is not original. I added this because there's too much wind noise when I drive in the freeway. So I had to add it. And this actually fixes the door sounding cheap as well. So without this door seal, it will sound much cheaper. Even with the windows rolled up, it will still sound cheap if you don't have this door seal. And another issue with the door again, guys, is the door handle. Right now it's fine. It's because I added the vinyl sticker here, but without this vinyl sticker, it's just all chrome. And then that chrome is actually a fingerprint magnet. At first I thought I don't care about the fingerprints on there, but after a while it just looks gross. It just collects too many fingerprints. So another issue with this car is the trunk. So when you open the trunk, it's easy, but when you close it, you have to really close it hard. If you don't put a little bit force when you close it, it will not close. See? So you have to get the right force, enough force to close it. Yeah. And the bad thing about this is I think it's scratching my paint right here. I don't see it anywhere else, but here there's that scratch. Oh well. So going inside the trunk, guys, there's a little crevice right at the left side, and as you can see, there's a hole in there. So it's a little bit concerning that some tiny objects could drop inside in there. So there should be a liner that closes that floor in there, but for some reason they're cost cutting. They're trying to cheap on it. And I have a co-worker that also have a Model 3. I think he has the 2019, and he doesn't have the liner issue in the crevice. So on the 2020 they cheap on it, and I actually went to the Tesla service center, asked about it, and then they said it's just the way the new models are. And another issue with the trunk is that liners on the wall. So as you can see here, there's still a big gap here. I don't remember like that on my Honda Civic before. So that's not a good design. So moving on to the front trunk, aka frunk. So open in here. So let's open the frunk. So the issue in here inside is the clips. There should be a clip in here that hides this hole here. I think this is a clip for the grocery bags. On the 2019 models, they actually have a cover in here. So another issue with the frunk is that it's very tricky to close. At first in stock, it's really hard. I think that they set the spring a little bit harder to close, but I adjusted it. It's a little bit easier to close, but closing this thing is still tricky. You have to put your hands in here, two hands, one here and here. Right now I can't really do that, so I'm gonna just do one hand right here. It's a little bit tricky because people say you can actually dent the panel if you don't do it correctly. Now let's go to the wheels, guys. It looks really nice, but it's sticking out too much that you can actually easily scratch this thing. A lot of people actually scratch their wheels by hitting the curbs on the street, but luckily I don't have that yet. Knock on wood. But so far I don't have any scratches yet. Supposedly it has a wheel cover or a hubcap, but I took it out because it looks ugly with it, and I don't really drive long distances, so it doesn't really matter. But for people who drives long distances, then they actually need that to save energy. So everything is actually very responsive from here. Karaoke, Spotify. I don't have Spotify. USB, settings. yeah, everything is really responsive. But for some reason when I launch YouTube, it's really slow. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah, that's how slow it is. Considering the computer is supposedly fast, but for some reason launching YouTube is actually really slow. And I kind of need that, because when I go to a charging station, you gotta have something to do. And for me, I want to watch YouTube. Usually I just watch it in my phone, but yeah, there are times that I can actually use this, but it's just too slow for me. I haven't tried Netflix because I don't have Netflix. I don't have I haven't tried any of the other ones, only YouTube for now. So another issue is the auto wiper. For some reason when it rains, when it's just drizzling, sometimes the wiper takes a really while to start working, and unfortunately there's no way to set the sensitivity. That's kind of disappointing. I came from a CRV 2017, and it has the rain sensor feature, and then that actually works really good, and I kind of miss that. And this one is kind of buggy, and then you can manually turn it on. And then these are the speed settings, so I just put it into auto. But yeah, like I said, that doesn't work really well, which is disappointing. I hope they will fix this in the future. A co-worker of mine, he said that the first time he got his car, the auto wiper actually was really worse, and then it got better from what he said. But for me, it's just terrible. So next issue, guys, is the charging, setting the charging limit. For some reason in here, that's the only way to set the limit. It doesn't really show how much percentage you want to set it to. For some reason, it's actually better using the phone for setting the charging limit, because you can actually set it to just 70%. It actually shows it right here. Or you want to set it to 80 or 100, it will show the percentage in here, but not in the display in the car. So there's no way to do it right here. And then another weird thing is that in the car display, you can set the charge current, but on the phone, nada. There's no way to set it in here. So if you want to set the charging current limit, you gotta do it in the car's display. So guys, I have mentioned a lot of issues on this car already, that you might think that you don't want to buy a Model 3 anymore. And I can understand that, because there's so many issues with this car actually. But for me, those are minor issues. and then a lot of them are actually can be fixed by firmware updates. So we just gonna have to wait. So just a few more issues that I need to mention, guys. Just bear with me. Next is the backup camera. So let's hunt for cars to pass by. I'm gonna show you that whenever there's an incoming pedestrian or cars, it doesn't give you a warning sound. I'm coming from a Honda CR-V 2017, and it has that feature on the backup camera that whenever there's an incoming object, whether it's a pedestrian or a car, it will make that warning sound to alert the driver that you need to stop. But this car don't have that. It's just kind of weird why they did not put that feature. And for me, it's a must feature because it's a safety issue. Like, what if you gonna back up a person? So it's kind of scary. For me, backing up this car doesn't feel like you're driving a high-tech car. It feels like an old car because it doesn't have that feature that alerts you. Right now I have to turn my head, really make sure nobody's there. And then the issue is that that window, that rear window, is so small. Luckily that window on the side is kind of big, but that window right there is too small to rely on. So that's why it's kind of scary. They need to add that feature that will alert the driver when there's an incoming object. Like right now I'm gonna show you that car is gonna go right on the Honda CR-V. There's gonna be a warning sound, but for some reason with this car it doesn't give you any alerting sound. So you have to be really careful when you're backing up this car. See, there's no sound. So I'm done showing you that, guys. So one more issue that I need to show you guys, and I promise you this is the last issue that I'm gonna show you, is when you change lanes. So it's about the blind spot monitoring. So I'm gonna drive around right now. The garage door opener is not automatically closing again. That's what I was saying, guys. Kinda sucks. Right here is gonna open automatically the gate. So I'm gonna change lane when there's a vehicle on the blind spot, and then on this car, when there's a car on the blind spot, it doesn't give you a warning sound. it just shows a red on the display. The car becomes color red, and it doesn't have that warning sound. Oh, it's not even turning red. What the hell? Okay, we're gonna do that. Okay, there's a red again. There's a red, and then there's no beeping sound. So that's what I was talking. So there's the red, and it doesn't give me that warning sound that there's a car on the blind spot. So I kind of missed the CRV 2017 when it comes to that. But there are still a lot of good things about this car that is still worth having this car than any other car right now. It's really strange that they don't give you the warning sound on vehicles on the blind spot. But this curb, most of the time, this actually gives a beeping sound. How close you are, so it's gonna give that sound, which is not really that important in my opinion. So just like the backup camera, guys, this feels like an old car when changing lanes, because you still have to really turn your head. You can't really rely the technology on the car when you're changing lanes. On the Honda CRV, it's actually pretty accurate. I feel safe driving that car when changing lanes, because there's a lot of times that there's actually a car on my blind spot, and then that saved me a lot of times. And then not only that it gives you a warning sound, it also has a blind spot indicator on the side mirrors, which helps a lot more. So right here you can see like that beeping sound, right? That's the sound it gives when you're getting close to an object, but it doesn't have that kind of sound when you're changing lanes when driving. So it kind of sucks. So those are the issues that I have with this car, guys. Most of them are not really that bad, and then frankly the only thing that I find it really critical is the backup camera. There's no warning sign on incoming objects, and then also the blind spot monitoring. There's no warning sound also when there's a car on the blind spot. So that's kind of disappointing. I hope they can fix it. So most of these issues are actually fixable through software, guys. So I'm just gonna wait and see what happens if they actually give us a fix for those issues that I have mentioned. So let me know in the comments below, guys, if you want me to make a video what I like about the Model 3, and if we hit maybe 500 likes, then I will make a video for that. So if you are still planning to buy a Model 3, even though you already have watched this video about the negatives of the car, I promise you there's a lot of good reasons why to buy the Model 3. Please feel free to use my referral code. I'm gonna put it down in the description. So if you're gonna buy a Tesla car, you're gonna get 1000 miles of free charging. and I'm also gonna get it as well. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you find this video helpful. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. That would really help my channel grow, and I'll see you on the next one.